56 merge intervals from LeetCode. Let's jump to the question. Given an array of intervals where interval I start and end, merge all overlapping intervals and return an array of non-overlapping intervals that cover all the intervals in the input. So the question is giving us an array of intervals, as you see, and what we are going to do, we are going to return non-overlapping intervals as the result. So what does it mean? So let's say this is the intervals that is given to us. We have 1 and 3 here, right? And the other one that we have is 2 and 6, which is this one. And the other one that we have, it's 8 and 10, right? So you see, like when I draw it illustrated here, you see there is no interval between 2 and 6 or 1 and 3 with 8 and 10, right? I just like ignored the 15 and 18. But you see that there is an interval between 1 and 3 and 2 and 6. So what we are supposed to do, we are going to return a new interval that includes all of them, and there is no overlapping interval. As you see, it starts from 1 and it ends at 6, and this is what we are going to return. And as you see, there is no overlapping interval between 6 and 8, so we're going to add 6 and 8, and also 15 and 18, there is no interval between these two either, so we're just going to add 15 and 18. And in this example, as you see, there is an interval here, so we have 4 in both intervals. So what we're going to return is going to be 1 and 5. Let's jump to the solution and see how we can solve this problem. So I'm gonna explain it using this example. First thing first, the thing that we need to do here, we need to sort this array, and the reason that we need to sort it because we are checking the intervals. And we are going to sort it based on the first index of each interval. This is how we are going to sort the array, because each interval has 2 indices, index 0 and 1. We are going to sort it based on index 0, which makes the time complexity of n log n from the beginning, right? So here, this is the time complexity that we have here. And now we are going to iterate over the array and keep updating the result that we are going to return. So we're going to add new intervals in the result, and we're going to return it at the end. So how we do it, we will go through the first interval and see if the result, this is the result that we have here, right? So this is the result. If the result array is empty, what we are going to do, we are going to add that interval into the result. As you see at the beginning, the result is empty. So what we are going to do, we are going to add 1 and 3 to the result, right? And then we go for the next one, which is 2 and 6. It says if not result, which now result is not empty, so that doesn't apply, or if the interval 0, which is this one, number 2, and the result -1, which means the last item has been added to the result at index 1, right? So this one, if this one is bigger than this, so that means we can just append that to the result, because it means if this one is bigger than this, if it was a, so it means there is no interval between these two, so we're just gonna add it to the result. But if not, which is going to be this case, what we are going to do, we are going to update the last interval in the result, the index first of the last interval in the result. So we're gonna update this, but we are going to update it with what? So what we are going to do, we are going to update it with the biggest value that we have, either from the interval 1, which is 6 here, or the index 1 of the last result. We compare these two, whichever is bigger, whatever is bigger, we're going to put it here. So this is what we get after. So we're going to have 1 and 6 in the result array, right? And what we're going to do, we're going to check the next one, which is 8 and 10. So the result is not empty, and the interval at index 0, which is 8 here, and we have 6 here. 8 8 is bigger than the value that we have at result minus 1 index 1, right? So what we're going to do, we're just gonna append that to the list, because there is no interval between these two. You see, there is no interval. And for the last one, as you see, there is no interval between 15 and 10 that we have here. We're just going to add that to the result. So this is the final result that we are going to return. So the time complexity, it's going to be n log n, and the space complexity is be logarithmic too, because if we find intervals that they have overlap, it's going to be logarithmic. But at the worst case, it can be ON2, which means there was no intervals with overlapping in the whole array. Thank you.